Hello and welcome back to the password playthrough. We're just gonna. I think we're just gonna go because I'm kind of excited. To find out what's going on, see more drama. You know how it is. With our group set and something resembling a task under our belts, we ate what food we were in the middle. We were in the mood for before splitting up. I'd followed Ty out of the dining room automatically. Sure, part of it was that he was my partner, but another biggest part was that he was just someone I was used to following. Suddenly he stopped, sighing out and turning back to look at me. Ty, what's wrong? Nothing, just this whole thing is fucked. That's absolutely a something. That's absolutely a something. He reached out and lazily slaps my face, keeping contact from my forehead down to tip of my nose. That's how you know this is gonna be a good session, as I cannot read. Brat, brother. If his tail wasn't wagging a mile a minute, I wouldn't have been too sure how he'd taken it, but he seems to relax. Are you still feeling scared? Fucking terrified. Did you want to talk about it? No. Did you need to talk about it? Probably. We can talk while we look for the medals. Besides, spending time together and stuff. He grunted, eyeing me off carefully. All right. Where are we looking? I don't even know. They could be anywhere, including the other half of the knot medal you found. Why'd you keep it that way? Keep it to yourself anyway. It wasn't a medal. Well, yeah, but it's half of one, right? Maybe someone else might have found the other half or know where to look. Ty shrugs, but remembered something, huffing and looking at us to the side. I don't want their fucking help. I want to do this on my own. Oh? Fuck, no, wait. I meant finding the other half of the metal thing. Right, so I should just... No, just come here. He dragged me by the arm off to the side into one of the side rooms, shutting the door behind him. I waited, and he paced, mumbling something to himself before growling at me, growling and turning to me. What I want is to be with you, all right? But you said, I swear, Dave, you make me want to just... He grabbed me roughly by the cheeks and exercised the excess fluff falling through his digits. Ow, quit it. His grip loosened, but he didn't move his hands. Instead, he just watched me, and I watched him back silently, just watching how his expression shifted slightly, the twitching of his nose, the few visible whiskers I could see trembling. Sorry. Should we sit down? We don't have to search for the medals right now. All right, sure. Though this room is old as fuck, reminds me what I think of an old person's place looks like. You've never... I guess not, but still. Why would I? Never knew one set of... and the other, fuck it, I know. Never knew one set, and the other, fuck if I know. You're swearing a lot, Ty. I can swear if I fucking want to. Now you're starting to sound like Mom. Tyson's voice went low, quiet. He didn't seem mad, though, although that comment really didn't rub him the right way. Don't compare me to her. Why not? You're probably... Well, actually, it's because you're very similar that you two didn't get along, right? Along with other things. I'm worried that she's going to say when we get back home, how she'll react. Probably good that you had plans to bail, right? Yeah, I can imagine she'd flip. If she's even around. She's gotta be, right? I love my mom, but I don't know, she's busy. Great way to fucking deal with your husband dying. Way to abandon your kid, Carol. Hey, she's... I wanted to jump to her defense, but instead I just collapsed in a slump on the nearby chair, sighing out. Maybe we should talk about Dad when I get home. You know, Mom and me. Yeah, why? Well, like, I barely see her. We barely talk. So maybe what she needed is, like, what you give me. And I give you what exactly? A hard time. I chuckled to myself as Ty dropped down next to me, stretching out. I think more just someone that you can talk to about stuff. Anything, you know. There's stuff I've told you that I didn't tell her, or Orlando, or even Dad. Shit, you didn't even tell Dave? Just small things, nothing big really. But I felt comfortable just telling you, so I did. Ty nodded slowly, scratching his neck. I guess you're kind of the same, yeah? Although, not like I had many options. Thanks, I think. No, I mean, like, it's a good thing. I like that you're my guy for that. Even compared to Haas, that's like, I don't know. I feel better going to you about stuff. You've been opening up to Dean about stuff too, right? That's because he's gonna be your boyfriend or whatever. I let that comment hang there, instead pulling out a stray piece of fur sticking out of my cheek. What? Don't worry about it, Ty. It's fine. Like hell it is. I just don't think I like Dean as much as what other people want me to. Dean's a great friend. We go out and see stuff, eat food, but like, should I be feeling some kind of magical spark like in the movies? Fuck if I know. Well, you should. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? What if it's like, how do I make you feel? Pissed off sometimes. Ty sighed out and quickly ran his hands through his fur, making it messy. I had already started to bristle off the last few moments after I'd spoken. But then, like, there are other things where I feel safe. Kind of like this stupid warm feeling in my chest. It's nice, but like in a not gay way. Right. I feel like this is stupid. This is about you. Kinda, but like, what I feel for Dean isn't like that. He's big and strong, and that makes me feel safe. He's kind of sweet, and I'd probably be able to laugh a lot more freely around him. But he's just not someone I love. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I won't. It almost seems silly to be considering all these kind of things when we could die. We could be dead tomorrow. Yeah, we might be dead tomorrow, but we probably won't be. I just don't want people expecting me to choose Dean just because I like him and he likes me back. I like other people too. Okay, fine, I'll back off. Good. Ty started to stare at his fur, to pull at his fur, and I reached out to grab his wrist. Stop that, you'll hurt yourself. It just sucks, you know? The hurting? Yeah, like, I'm happy for you that you're, like, getting yourself together. You're acting like you've grown a pair again, and maybe I just forgot how much of a brat you can be sometimes. That's a good thing, right? Well, it means I can work on my own shit now. Don't think that you have to do it alone, you know? Ty didn't look at me, instead slumping in his spot next to me. Can I ask you something? Anything, what's up? When I asked you way back about who you thought looked better between me or Haas, I mean, I remember. What did you think of that? I thought it was confusing, but I think I answered honestly, you know? Like, I slumped to mimic how he was sitting and put my hands on my belly. That's what you wanted me to say, right? The truth? And if I asked you again, like, I don't have the muscles Sal has, and I'm not as lean as Haas. Well, you've been getting better at eating in general, so that's more important, right? Rich coming from you. If I told you, would you answer a question for me after? I guess. I like you. You're my type. Maybe it's that scruffy appeal. Maybe it's just how you look at me. I don't know. You're soft and comfortable when you need to be, and you're strong and brave at the same time. But I'm not some pretty boy or like some raging homo like Orlando. Why does that matter? I don't get it. I mean, like, I'm not anything like Orlando, but we're both gay. Right, okay. But you'd pick me over Haas? I guess so, yeah. There was the faintest of smirks that crossed his face before it disappeared again. He breathed in and sighed out, glancing at me. Go on, your turn. What's the question? Why does this matter to you? What? Like, if you just wanted me to give you compliments, I'd do that just because. But this is like, I don't know, something you'd do if you wanted to know if someone liked you. I already know you like me. Maybe a little too much. Right, I've been clear on that for a while, but just, I don't know where you sit on it. Do you like me back or not? He surprised me when he took my hand in his, giving it a gentle squeeze. I just don't know. You want to know something, Ty? What? I love you. Thanks. But as a brother, right? Huh. But how far can I go in this relationship? I am really curious if I can make the two of them, like, date. But at the same time, like, that familial bond's is real cute. But damn, I don't know. Well, this is a gay furry game, so I looked at him in the eyes, and he pulls his gaze away. You dork. At least you're not freaking out over it. I think I'm slowly warming up to the idea, but doesn't feel as weird anymore. What made it weird to begin with? I don't know. Maybe it was seeing you hit puberty and wondering why the fuck you were horny all the time. I sat up suddenly with a frown. I wasn't like that at all. I was just curious. That why I caught you peeking? That why you were so eager for me to scrub your back? I didn't hear you complaining. Well, I guess you're right. I'm not promising anything, but if something happens, I want you to promise me something. Promise what? Just be patient with me, alright? I know this is going to be some shit that you're going to say is dumb, and that obviously you would, but I just don't know how it's going to go. It could suck. It could be a mistake. I'll probably fuck up and hurt you by accident, even if we're not, you know. But I want to figure it out. For you. I shuffled close and resting my head on the spot between his shoulders and chest. Ty, it's moments like this that really make me worry, you know? Worry why? It feels so nice, but at the same time, like, the moment I get comfortable, something is going to come along and ruin it. So that hunting for medals thing isn't much of a distraction. We're not really hunting medals at all, are we, Ty? Guess not. But what else is there to do? Well, Ty pulls off his shirt and started playing it within his hands. Something about what he was doing made him seem nervous. Could always just, you know, fuck or whatever. Wait, right here? You're the one that hinted at wanting it. That was a while ago now, Ty. We don't... I mean, it's a little... Besides, I guess I always figured you were just riling me up with that offer. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just something I feel like I should be into more, but you know. get anywhere near my tail, and I'll start just thinking about the worst stuff, the worst kind of stuff. Put your shirt back on, Ty. We don't have to do anything you don't want to do. He quickly put it on and shifted uncomfortably on the spot. One day it's just I'd like to get there, just so I could say I've done it. With me, or maybe, but that's not important right now. He got up, offering out a hand. Now come on, we should at least try and find the others, the other half of this thing, or any of the others, right? I stood up and smiled at him. Do you feel better at least, having just had this talk? He stepped in closer and wrapped his arms around me. In turn, I did the same, and we just stood there hugging for a bit. I do, yeah. Still scared as hell, though, but this makes it easier to cope. We could stay here if you wanted. We're safe, together, and no one would need to know. Until you started getting hungry for lunch. Or if Orlando makes pumpkin bread. Shit, he's making pumpkin bread? When did he tell you that? I chuckled the moment Ty realized I was joking, and he grumbled. Even taking a break for lunch, nothing came up. Not that we looked very hard, and we didn't really have any direction to go with. We barely ran into any of the others too, all keeping distracted in their own way, and it seems very few of us were actively searching for more medals. Not that I could blame them either. When we all gathered for the dinner, it was almost as if there wasn't a homicidal rabbit in the woods. We all sat down and seemingly to be in high spirits in general. At some point, Oswin and Benson had swapped out for keeping watch, and given the lack of gunshots, it seemed we were still without any extra guests. It brought me some relief, but still had me anxious. Almost like the prospect of someone threatening to pop a balloon inches from your face, but without telling you when or why. But still, it seemed that Oswin and Benson were discussing who should keep watch next, and with Benson was fussing over Oswin, it reminded me of me and Dad. Granted, Benson was shorter than Oswin by a fair bit, but he seemed to comply, if begrudgingly, to whatever it was that Benson had decided for the two of them. No one else seemed to have turned up anything as far as medals went either, but progress was progress, even if it was just getting us back into the motion of looking for them. We ate dinner, and everything was surprisingly normal. But as I ate, something started to eat away at me, again. Something about this morning that made me just wondering what I should do next. Thankfully, I knew exactly who to ask. Oswin, can we talk? The two of them turned to me, and I lingered halfway through the open doorway to the backyard. We can. Do you require privacy? If you needed it, I could step inside, should you wish. No, it's fine. Stepping out, I was in the night air. I breathed in deep and looked around. So far, so good, even with the familiar feeling of that night chill nipping at my fur. Is everything all right? Did you find a medal by any chance? No, not that. Then what is it? I was just thinking about everything that had happened up until this point, wondering about, what our next move should be. After all, we can't just continuously be on lookout, right? You have a point, my boy. Have you thought of any idea on what we should do? Not really, but I have a question. He's starting to remind me of Roswell. In what way? He's been quizzing me a lot lately, and what we should do as well, what the next move should be and such. After all, the idea of a vacation has been tainted by this unfortunate arrival. Question after question, the young boar takes after his mother for sure. Dave didn't come out here to have you reflect on Roswell, when he's clearly got something on his mind. Oh, right, well, it's the thing behind the door. The vault, whatever. What is it? You said this morning that, we can't let that get into the hands of someone bad because of what they what they could do with it. But if we destroyed it, then what's the risk? Oswin huffed, standing stiff. Alas, I don't know the code to the door, so that plan is a failure from the get-go. Well, you don't? But Benson does, right? The two of them looked at each other quickly before turning back to me. That's a tad bit more complicated than I've let on, Dave. But how? You said we could if we found all the medals, we could have that weapons on the other side. But that's just because you're gatekeeping for the sake of the game, right? Yes and no, regrettably. I don't like the sound of this. I know the password to thing inside the vault. There's a containment vessel holding what we speak about, but that's not tied to the vault mechanism, unless I told you. You'd struggle to get past the security on that thing. Beyond that, however, I'm sorry to have informed you that while I can assure you that you're allowed whatever's beyond the door should you find the medals, as of right now, the password eludes me as well. Wait, so the door can't be opened at all? I don't understand. What's the risk of just handing it over, and then we could just hike back home? Do you know how to remove a basement room from a mountaintop building, Dave? We cannot simply just hand over the room to him. But it's not the room at all, is it? It's something else, and unless he's like, I don't know, a genius like you are, I don't think it's that dangerous. I'd refrain from stroking his ego, if I were you. Still, perhaps there is something we can do to stave off some danger. Perhaps meeting his rabbit would warrant some thought. I'm not meeting with that rabbit again. Once was bad enough. Wait, you'd meet him before? I'd hardly call it a meeting, but he was present the last time Memphis Noble came toting up to his limousine. Why is it only coming up now? You got a good look at him, right? Unlike Oswin, who is prone to jump the gun when it comes to our visitors, I prefer to be certain before taking action. If it is indeed the same Jack, and I'm almost positive it is, he is more useful to us alive. He tried to kill me. All the more reason we should do away with him. If we get the chance. He's trespassing. He wants the vault, and wants to know if Benson's still alive, which I guess he should know about now, right? So long as I think we should be alright. After all, what's the worst he can do alone? He literally was going to stab me. Fair point. Regardless, we have no bargaining chip we can hand over it. We have no bargaining chip we can hand over to him to make him leave us alone either. The head started to hurt. My head started to hurt, and without realizing it, I'd closed my eyes and clutched my temple. Interesting. What is? Just you. I worry that came out of my mouth. What? I worry that come the end of the month, your head is going to be hurting a lot more if you keep using the Volt. I could just be dehydrated, maybe. If you wish an injection, I can oblige. But in... I love that expression for Benson. He's just such an angry boy. But in lieu of Benson's disapproval, let me say that I imagine the Volt is doing a number on your psyche. Remembering events from past interactions of the timeline, who knows what change that could have on you, or how lasting it may be. That's enough, Oswin. He's not one of your lab rats. Thanatos has a brother I haven't met? No, it's just him. Just as well, I have no fondness for that thing. It's a rat, Benson. If you say so. Now, was there anything else? I guess not, but if there's even a plan of what to do next, could I be told first, or if not first, just one of the first? I shall endeavor to ensure that for your peace of mind, Dave. Okay, cool. Was there anything else? Just one more question, but for Benson. Oh? What is it, my boy? If we got you all those medals, what did you plan to do with them? Do they make a key? Do they have some special thing that lets you open the door? Or Benson looks at Oswin, who quirks a brow curiously at him in kind. That's a complicated question. Probably one best answered once all of the medals are found. Try me. If I leave now, I'll probably be up thinking about it. He's got you there. Very well. I may be ordered. I may blah 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 blah. I have my orders, and that should all the medals be found, I'm to prove it and turn it, and in turn, I'll give the password for the vault door for, essentially granting to whoever I choose so. I've never gave you such orders. Indeed, this one was a directive issued by your sister. She's here? Oh, I highly doubt that, sir. This request came from her. Request from her came long before Dave and his friends arrived. Truth be told, I was a bit confused as to why I'd be given one. But such is serving the Hampton family, after all. But with the phones not working, I guess calling her or snapping a picture is going to be impossible. Quite. However, I'm sure I'll figure out something. I'm a man of my word, after all. I could also hear Oswin grinding his teeth in frustration from where I stood, and he stood quiet. Okay, well, I guess I'll be heading off to bed then. And, thanks. You're very welcome, Dave. Good night. I headed back inside and wandered up to my room. The house was quiet without being silent. The others were around, some chatting, some just minding their own business. But how they moved hinted that they were still there. I eased the tightness in my chest that I didn't realize I was still holding. Closing the door behind me, I sighed out and had a shower. For my own sake, I needed to make sure I stayed on top of that, as a routine would keep me focused. Without thinking, I pulled out my phone and got halfway through sending a message to Ty before realizing the reception was out. I considered sending it for a moment before just deleting the whole lot and instead looking at a picture of him on my phone. There were a couple that he'd taken of me doing stupid things. Some I had taken of him doing equally stupid things, plus a couple that Dad had sent to me. Stopping on one of the two of us cuddling in close together, I remembered Dad sending it to me over morning coffee, and how I almost choked up seeing it. At the time, I thought that it was stupid and that he shouldn't have done that, but the more I looked at it, the more brought me a sense of comfort that I could readily place. I turned off the lights and got to bed, plugging in my phone in. I waited while I listened to the ongoings of the house. Part of me hoped Tyson would just appear and we could cuddle. Part of me worried that what might have happened if he did. He liked his space after all. Especially so when heavy stuff was getting to him, and today he had some fairly heavy stuff brought up. It felt foreign to me that he wouldn't trust me more for getting help, but he'd always been like that. With a sigh, I rolled over and tried to get some sleep. Maybe if I was lucky, I'd get to spend another night with him soon. I think that's a nice place to end it. A bit of a shorter episode, but that might be better for some people. So, see you around.